Fight!
Hello! Welcome to Click Click Play, episode 89. 89, nearly at 100. Oh. We're joined, well, I'm Biggest Bennis. This is Click Click Play. Everybody, I think it's the world's best. We got a special guest. Why don't I have anybody coming up to me offering me alcohol? Hey, Jordan. Hey, Laura. Can we say hello to Laura from me, Jordan?
Ben says hello. You can't hear him, I suppose.
Hello, Ben. I'm so glad he doesn't look like a dickhead today with the poo bags on his glasses.
Yeah, brilliant.
Come on. Right, serious business now. We're talking about Resident Evil 2. Come on.
Il est le français bière.
No.
Tu as
No.
français bière?
No.
Brexit.
Le Brexit.
Brexit bière.
Le Brexit.
From a Lidl.
Okay, goodbye.
I can't tell if that's French or Welsh.
Le Brexit.
Oh, very nice. Well,
beautiful at least.
that other person behind, well, I say behind, there is something behind Mellum, a horse, but Mellum is here. I am. Why do you have a horse behind you, Mellum?
I need some horsing around later.
Oh, of course.
You're gonna fuck it.
And it got a long stick.
Yeah.
What?
Stick it up his bum. Oh. Yeah. How are you doing, Mellum?
I'm good. I'm good.
What time did you wake up today?
8 in the morning.
Is that why we're having a 6 o'clock podcast today?
Yeah, I'm.
Is it 6 o'clock though? Because it's actually 5 o'clock.
6 o'clock in
Brexit land.
Yeah, only in Brexit land.
No. Because we always do the show at this time, 5 o'clock, right? 5 o'clock, UK time, the actual time. And then I get a text from Mellum saying, "Oh, can we do it at 6 today?" So there's me, kind of, just loitering around at 5 o'clock. I see your text saying, "Right, the show's ready." I'm like, "What the fuck?" But it's okay. I've already told Mellum off for his indiscretion.
Oh, good. Yeah, I got to teach him a lesson.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I've got nothing better to do.
We're ready. Nothing. And I said, yeah, if you don't come in now, we're just going to talk shit about Resident Evil 2 for the whole podcast. So.
Jordan has joined us.
Yeah, and then Jordan appeared.
Comes flying in.
Hello to everyone in the chat. I'm talking like this, but we've got some, so alerts and everything are off because we go and stick this on YouTube. Hello to Drex, the Viking, Brenda Burrs, the Lady, and Limited Night, the Beast, and Guard, the Bald, and everyone else in the chat. I know. Tio Scorps lives in Brexit land. Yeah, that's true. Portugal. So we should do it in Portuguese time in future.
Yeah. I think that is British time, isn't it?
Yeah. We'll just call it. Hey, Nate. How is everybody doing? Anyway, this is going to be quite a short podcast because we've got lots of wrestling to do later. So I think maybe in the future we should do the podcast a little bit earlier. But I had to go and walk the dog. And I had a very late night last night. I was rather drunk.
Why?
Just got drunk on stream, playing Jackbox, singing along to 90s music like Toka's Miracle. And
32, Ben. It's time to grow up, mate.
I know. It says man drinking wine. What wine is it?
32. I went a little bit higher than I thought you were to piss you off.
No, actually, no, I'm 30. Although, like, when when you turn 30, you could be 30, 31, 32, 30. I think
up to matters, is it?
No, like when you hit 40, that's a milestone. But between like 30 and 39, I imagine it just feels the same.
What's 40 going to be like? Jesus Christ.
Oh, I'm still going to be a kid. Yeah. We'll be playing the PlayStation 7 then.
Yeah, but how are we going to do without looking like pedophiles? That's my worry.
Yeah, well, games will be made for us because we've grown up with them. You know, like how they're making games for us now? It's not all aimed at kids, except Kingdom Hearts. There are still some big games that are...
I'm always going to look 18, so I don't have that problem.
Yeah, that's true. That mustache, though, you'll have to... Oh, I thought that was wine for a second. I thought you were drinking out of a bottle of wine. I was like, wow, what a lush. In the chat, Kingdom Hearts is not for kids. We're going to come on to Kingdom Hearts soon.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. Did you see my... In fact, no, I think it's going to be in the highlights video. There's a clip where it started... Yeah. We'll talk about Kingdom Hearts very soon. But first, let's just quickly talk. There was another game that came out recently called Grim Evil.
Redunculous.
Yeah.
Redunculous something.
Something like Ridiculous Snivel, I think it's called.
It's Resident Evil 2.
Yeah. Redunculous.
In brackets, 2018. Close bracket.
Yeah, not remake.
Not remake 2.
Go on then,
Resident
tell
Evil
us,
2.
Jordan, what do you think of it without getting your penis out?
How much have we talked about it? Like, did we do a show last week, or did we
No.
not do one last week?
No, we
No.
were going to have 2 shows at the once, and I was like, kind of in a rush.
I was trying to think is it just the demo that we've talked about on the show?
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat just asked me to get my dick out.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah. This is the kind
So
of...
no nipples, but you can get full on dick out, yeah?
Yeah,
Fine.
fine.
So yeah, I think maybe last time we spoke about on the show, we just played the demo, and we were all really happy with the demo. Since then, I have finished the game as Claire in the hardcore mode, which really lives up to its name. It was an absolute ball ache. And then I've also gone through the game on standard difficulty as Leon. So I've kind of pretty much seen what the game has to offer. And I just absolutely love it. I don't know whether I said it on the show, but the greatest compliment I could pay this game would be for it to become like the version of Resident Evil 2 that I think of and that I want to play. And it's way too early to decide that. And I still think I'll always have crazy nostalgia for the original just because I played it at such a formative time. But this is without doubt a better game in every single way, and in the ways that I didn't expect it to be. Obviously, it was going to have better controls. Obviously, it was going to be a better shooter. But I think it's scarier than the original. I think there's more tension in it than the original. I think there's more.
Do you know what's make it scarier? Make it scarier by put the original soundtrack on. Oh my god, the new soundtrack it was okay. It was very modern video game kind of soundtrack. Then I put the old one on and was like, oh, this makes it so much better for me, and it made it scarier. I felt.
Yeah. So I've kind of come round full circle on that one. Like, obviously the original soundtrack is amazing, it's iconic, and I think the soundtrack had a lot more lifting to do back in 1998 because obviously the visuals were what they were, and you couldn't really control the game in the same way that you can with games now. And I think the music was there to really in a lot of original PlayStation games, like with the Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, a lot of it hinges on the music and these tunes that you just hear on repeat. And when I was initially playing the game, when I played the demo and like the first half of the game, I was like, this music's really understated compared to the original. There's a lot of blank space, like just with no music at all. And when the music does come in, it's very subtle and it's more like ambient noises. So on my second playthrough, I turned on the classic soundtrack, and as nice as it was to hear that stuff, it kind of did give me a bit of appreciation for the new music, just in terms of how well. You'll see when you put the old music on, you can just feel when you walk from one room to another that suddenly the music changes, and that feels a little bit jarring. And I think there are certain scenes, like when you're in the morgue, for instance, the music that they've made for the game, it just it starts off so quiet and just gently creeps up. And like I said, there's a lot of ambient stuff going on. It's less of a soundtrack, more of this soundscape that they've put together. So yeah, I agree with you. The original music is amazing, and I think especially for you, where you haven't played the original, it's amazing that you get the chance to hear that. But I think in the long term, I'll probably play with the new stuff, just because I think it helps with the atmosphere. It's made for that game, whereas the other music is kind of shoehorned in a little.
Yeah, I love it. I'm about. I didn't actually play any since I first played it. I played it for a good 6 hours or so. I don't know if it was one stream or 2 streams I played of it. And then got to where you play as Ada, is it? Is that her name?
Ada Wong.
Ada Wong, yeah. So it was about maybe 30 minutes into when you play as her. I'm on the Leon first playthrough, playing on easy because I'm just soaking it in, and I don't, scares are enough for me without having a difficult game in there as well. But I'm loving it. And are we allowed to do any little spoilers?
Yeah,
something that
it's been out for 20 years.
Exactly. So in it, I was like, I go scared, there's the old jump things. It was quite scary. And then you kind of because you start off in the police station, and then you get to know pretty much the ins and outs of the police station, and you're getting comfortable with it. All of a sudden, Agent, is he called, or Mr. X, or what's the name?
He is a Titan. Is it a Titan? Yeah, I think a Titan, but in the original game, Claire refers to him as Mr. X because nobody knows who he is, and that's just a fan name that people have run with.
Yeah, so
Mr. X is
Mr. X, this guy. All of a sudden, everything that you've fought before, you've been able to kill. You know, a few shots, maybe even a shotgun, like 3 or 4 shotguns to the right ahead. Even those lickers you can kill, which are these like kind of really fast-moving, spidery-looking things that lick your face and try and kill you. They can all be killed. Then all of a sudden, Mr. X comes and terrifies you because he just walks around and you can hear him, so you can hear his footsteps when he's near you, and he can't be beaten. Yeah, you can stun him. Like I threw a grenade at him and he kind of just went on one knee and stopped for about a few seconds and then like carried on. But he will follow you and like I needed to go into the library to move these bookcases, but he was in the library with me and I was like, well, I can't kite him, and I couldn't kite him around because I went to the other side of the police station and then within a few seconds he was near me. I don't know if he actually does physically move all these places or if he gets like transported at some point.
There's an element of video game magic in there, but he does. If you make a noise, if you run, if you shoot, if you make a loud noise, he'll start to hone in towards you. If you can hear his footsteps and you make like a bit of a noise, he'll then know where you are and come after you.
The trick for me that was to walk, not to run. So just walking around, and also there was the clock tower area. I found he didn't follow me in there. I don't know if he doesn't, but there are certain
rooms he won't come into, save rooms and
but he goes into the main hallway. That was the thing that scared me because I heard him or saw him, and then I ran full pelt into the main hallway, which is where you can save, and there's a safety box and stuff. And all of a sudden he follows me. I'm like, oh shit, no. Then
So in the second run, it takes a step further. The second one is so intense, and it kind of plays on the fact that he knows you've been through the game once. So basically, and it's Tyrant, by the way, not Titan. I got that wrong. Tyrant.
Okay, yeah.
So he's basically there from the start. Like he doesn't just trigger halfway through the police station. You have to do that basically all that same stuff just with him in the background. And the main hall of the police station, there's no save thing there. There's no box. It is just another environment. There's already zombies in there. So yeah, it totally just steps it up. What a fucking game.
Yeah.
So fucking.
I look forward to getting through it again. So I liked it. I just stopped because I've got other things to play that have been a bit on a timed kind of time, so I can't really pause it.
I'm gonna hassle you to play it because you can get through it pretty quickly. Like literally, like these crazy people on Twitter, and Resident Evil has always kind of lent itself to speed runs. That's kind of where the community has kind of sustained itself over the dark years of Resident Evil, where there either wasn't games or they were really bad. But like there were people finishing it for the first time in like 2 hours. Like the first time they played the game, and I'm like, what do you do? Like it took me 14 hours to get through that hardcore mode.
Yeah,
14 fucking hours. They're just slamming through it too.
I mean, I'd like to say I don't think I've got any negative. Maybe if I'm going to be really picky, you know, it is a very serious gaming podcast. We have to critique everything. Is that maybe the zombies have a bit of a crazy reach? Sometimes I just want to run past them, but all of a sudden they'll grab you. And I'd quite like there to be something to bash when they're trying to attack you to stop them attacking your health. You've got the knife that you can jab in, but I feel like I'm just waiting for him to push the zombie away. And sometimes if they're on the steps, if they're on side of the steps, you can't just run full pelt next to them because he will like stop you and grab you. This zombie.
Yeah,
so.
I think it's about. You're right. It does feel like they've got a bit of a reach on them, and I just think it's about like what I've started doing is instead of trying to take them down, I'll just shoot one bullet into their head, which will stagger them, and then run past so that they don't grab you. Obviously, if they do grab you, that's then a little bit of a meta game with have you got a knife, and if you've got a knife, stab it into them, and if you've got grenades, you can also use them.
Yeah.
So those items are basically.
I got a trophy.
You get a knife back, but the grenades are one use, and they stop you from getting bit.
I got a trophy for shoving a flashbang grenade in one of them's mouth and then shot the grenade.
Yeah.
Well, quite cool.
Based on where you are, you've obviously seen the Marvin turn into the zombie. Yeah, cool. So the way that played out for me, he turned into a zombie, and Mr. X came running in at the same time as well. So it was a proper panic moment. I was running away from Mr. X. Marvin happened to grab me. I had my equipped sidearm was just a grenade, a full-on blow up grenade.
Oh,
so I ended up just shoving a grenade down his throat and then running away, and he just blew up. And Claire was like, "I'm so sorry, Marvin."
Yeah, as he's splattered against the. How are you enjoying Resident Evil, Malum?
I haven't played any of it.
Oh,
it's too scary for me.
Yeah, do you think you ever would?
It looks really cool. I've seen some playthroughs,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like a game I would really enjoy to like speedrun and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I see some people and they count how many times they're gonna go past a zombie, and then they decide if they have to kill it or not to make the fastest run.
Wow.
So like you just have to count bullets and how if you're just gonna stagger and if you're just gonna or if you're gonna kill them.
You see, there's a trophy. Isn't there a trophy for finishing the game with like 10,000 steps?
Yeah, this is part of the reason why I just don't get into the trophy game. Like, there's one for the amount of steps. There's one for not using the inventory box, which I don't even know how that works. Like, how can you not use the inventory box? Assumingly, you're just not picking up items then.
Yeah, you could.
You have to do that to get through, because there's so much puzzles you have to do, and you have to use the inventory for it.
Yeah, so there must just be a way to manage that. Like, you can expand the inventory, and on my second playthrough with Leon, it seemed like they were really throwing the inventory slots at me. I almost maxed out my inventory slots on that second run, but still, like, if you're doing that, you're probably going for a time limit as well. So you're rushing around to try and think about, right, okay, I need to get that key, and then I can't have that herb in my inventory because it'll be full. It's just crazy. I just like I play a lot of games. I've been playing games since I was basically a toddler, and I just don't understand. There's just clearly a different breed of people that play games out there who are just phenomenal at them. It just makes me feel so inept when the day after the game was released, I was just seeing these people post their end scores, and they were like S rank, 2 hours. I'm like, fuck.
I think
I just don't know how you do it.
That's cool that they've given that game longevity, because a game that's a story game, and people have said, oh, it's quite short because you can finish it in 6 to 8 hours, and then this just gives so much extra life to it if people really want to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to probably play it through once. I'll play through the Leon story. I'll play through then the Claire B story, I think it is you're supposed to play after. Then I'll put it away for a bit, and then if in the future I do fancy a horror game or I want to go back to it, I'll do the reverse. I'll play as Claire A and Leon B.
Yeah, I'd say at least get through that first Leon scenario, because then you've seen the majority of the game. There are differences between Leon and Claire. When he finishes Leon, and there just seems to be a lot of... It's getting really frustrating to hear people like talking about this. There's so much confusion about how it works, and I get it. But basically, you finish as one character, you then unlock an optional second run for the other character, and that's just slightly remixed in terms of the story. The places where you saw that other character during your initial playthrough, you'll see them again. But you're doing basically the same puzzles.
Okay.
They might be a little bit harder to solve. Items are in different places, that kind of stuff. Like I said, Tyrant turns up pretty much right at the start. So throughout the police station section, you have to deal with him continuously. And also, he's in the first, the story stuff, but in the first scenario, there's a certain point where he's no longer present. In the second run through, he carries on being present.
Oh,
I would say
he is terrifying.
But yeah, he is.
All right. Yeah, that's Resident Evil 2. Good game so far,
Just to finish
John?
that off, I reckon Resident Evil 3 will be out within 18 months.
Yeah. I think they'll use the same...
everything they need to do it.
Okay. Is it the same controls?
Well, they could...
Could it be?
Yeah, totally. So Resident Evil 3 plays pretty much identical to Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 3 almost feels like an expansion of 2.
Oh, that sounds good.
Set in the same city. It's basically set at the start of the outbreak versus like towards the end. He plays a different character, but all they need to do is model her. The police station's involved with it. You're in Raccoon City. Obviously, they've already built a lot of that. So yeah, and in 3, the bit is called Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. There's basically a monster that follows you around in the same way that Mr. X does in this. So they would just need to reskin him basically and make him a bit more dynamic, and boom, they've got the game. So I don't think you'll be waiting too long for that one, thankfully.
What are you saying, Melon?
No, I was just wondering because like there's so many puzzles and stuff in this game, and it's like someone has clearly done something weird with the police station. They're setting up like weird items. You have to get some chest keys to open the chest doors, and a lot of weird stuff. Is it like, does it get explained any time in the story or something, or is it just like
I heard that there was
a puzzle?
Yeah.
Well, as to why? So is the question why does like a police station have?
And who has taken away all the things for the clock, who has like, why are you putting all of these pieces together? Why are you doing all these puzzles?
So it's a lot more grounded in this one. In terms of the police station, why it's kind of really grand, and there's artwork everywhere. It used to be an art museum and essentially got turned into a police station. The chap that runs it, Chief Irons, is mental. So he's clearly wants to kind of keep this police station looking as crazy as it is. And if you go to his office, you'll kind of get a feel for the way he would run things. The chess puzzles, so that's later in the game and isn't really in the police station. The way it's explained in this one is that the company that basically designed this door, their whole branding is around kind of chess pieces and stuff. So it doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense when you extract one piece and think about it, but like in the universe when you're playing it makes total sense, or more sense than it ever has in Resident Evil. And it all goes back to that original one where it was a mansion. It was designed to be heavy security and stuff. So they made, like, the story is that Umbrella made it difficult to navigate, and the person who owned the mansion, that was his orders to make sure people couldn't get into every room and stuff. So it kind of made sense in that, and they kind of copied that over to the original Resident Evil 2. And there was some disconnect there as to why would you still have these weird keys to open doors and stuff, like diamond key and club key and stuff. But they do in this one, they do what they can to ground that.
Yeah.
And it's
it sounds like there should be like a jigsaw per person, like from the Saw movies. I want to play a game.
Yeah,
making all of this puzzles for you.
It is laid out.
There's not too many puzzles. A lot of the puzzles now are just like turn on this generator, and you need to make sure the right amount of power is flowing to it by flicking some switches and stuff. But the keys and the chess pieces and stuff that is still there.
It is laid out so well, and like the use of space. I'm going to compare it to something that everyone compares games to, but Dark Souls. You know how the levels are really intrinsically put together, and you can, on the other side of, like, you find a wall, but you know that on the other side of that wall there will be something there. It's not just nothing. There's always a way to get from one place to another that you can then open up, and you can get from one place that maybe you had to kill 20 zombies and open 3 doors to get past to get to. All of a sudden it like loops around into the central area, so you can go back to it whenever you want. It was. Yeah, I really like that style.
Like,
you unlock
it won't be for everybody, but playing it on hardcore, the major difference, like it ups the difficulty a little bit. I think it reduces maybe ammunition, makes the monsters probably have a little bit more health. But the big difference is it goes back to the old school way of saving, where you've got your save points, but you've got a limited amount of uses of them. So you find ink cartridges that you use in the typewriters. So there's plenty of them. Like I saved 24 times doing it. I think I pretty much used everyone. I used every single. My last save was right before the last boss, and I used my last ink cartridge. So I put it down to the wire. But you get plenty of saves, but it does make you consider: should I save or should I go for that next run? Should I know there's ammo in that room, and I haven't got any ammo for my shotgun, but I know I'm going to go and fight a boss later, so I should probably get that shotgun ammo. Should I save now or should I save when I get back? And then sometimes you'll go and do that run and actually get fucked up by a zombie, and that could send you back a few hours. So again, kind of like Dark Souls, kind of ramps up that there's if you die, there's you're gonna lose something versus just reloading the game. And I just spent so much time kind of looking at the map and thinking, right, I haven't been to that room. I've been to this one, but it's marked as red, so I know something's in there. If I go past that room, I can go in there, find whatever's left, go to the other room that I know I need to go to, and then make my way back to the save point and save again, and then I can breathe. That was basically the kind of gameplay loop, and it was just so good. He was like proper survival horror stuff.
Yeah, love it. It runs really well on the PS4 Pro, gotta say. Very smooth.
Does. And apparently the PC version is really, really good as well. So I think
it's unusual for Capcom.
It's nice that it's there. I guess I think at some point in the future, I'll play it, full on 4K and wherever else when I've got a rig that'll run it 60 frames 4K. But for now, I played it on PlayStation. It was a really nice experience, and I like that the controller makes all the noises and stuff. Like all the walkie-talkie stuff comes through the controller. I think that's an underrated feature of the controller.
Nice.
Cool.
Well, other game that's come out. Should we go straight into it, or should we do a couple of little smaller games before we talk about?
I haven't played anything else.
I just very quickly, I played a bit of this little game called Kingdom Hearts. I played the Anthem VIP demo that was out last weekend. Really, really enjoyed it. Looks stunning, plays really well. The characters in it have actual personalities. So for me, it feels a lot like Destiny. I think you can't really can't really talk about Anthem without referring to it as pretty much just taking the core principles of Destiny. But yeah, God, when you're talking to somebody, they're not just standing there and not even maybe moving their mouth. They're actually interacting with you, and it adds a lot more story to it, which you'd expect from BioWare. Whether it'll hold, I think I was listening to the Jimquisition, and he was saying how it'd be interesting to see how good the story is, because in the VIP demo, you're kind of just thrown in, and you've been given these missions, and there's who's this guy that's giving me these missions? Why is he split into 3 people? What's you don't really know what's going on. So whether you can't really judge the story, but the customization on the mechs or whatever, the javelins, flying around feels pretty cool. The shooting reminds me very much of Mass Effect Andromeda, which actually had very good shooting mechanics. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to playing it. Apparently the one that you'd get given at the beginning is the boring class, but I actually found it like really balanced, so I liked it. Yeah. And did either of you play it? It's out at the moment, by the way, as well. There's the normal demo.
Did you play it, Melon, before I go off?
I tried it, but I got some weird bugs when I was playing it. My mouse was just jumping around, and it didn't work on my computer for some reason. I had no idea why.
Yeah, so I played it on PC, which is the format I'll play it on. I've signed up to. It definitely seems like with this game, the EA doesn't want you to buy it. They want you to sign up for their subscription service, isn't it?
Yeah, which I already had done actually.
They've done that whole meme thing this week of releasing that chart and everybody just jumping on it. I didn't think that chart was too complicated, really, but
it wasn't
I get why people are annoyed with it. I can see why it becomes a joke. It is, it to me, just reeks of corporate.
Yeah, to me, it becomes a joke because it's like, okay, so you can play that game. If you get their subscription, you can play it earlier than people who've paid 60, 70 euros for the full version of it. It doesn't make sense. I hate this. That's one thing I really, really hate at the moment. A few days early. Like I got the 110 euro version of the Division 2 pre-ordered, but I managed to get some discount because Ubisoft, the Uplay thing, you can use points that you earn in game to get a discount. So I got 20% off, which is very nice. But it's like the Ultimate Gold Edition, and I can play it 3 days in advance, and it comes with all these other little. I mean, I'm going to put hundreds of hours in, I imagine, if it's anything like the first one. So for me, I don't mind getting the top level version of that. It's not something that I'm kind of worried about not enjoying. Although the beta's out in a few days, so I'll see. Yeah, it seems a bit shady. I don't like these. I think it was Hitman. Yeah, Hitman 2, you could get the silver edition on Instant Gaming for 36 euros, or but you couldn't get the gold edition. And the only difference between the silver and the gold edition, which was 70 euros, so like double in price, and you could only get it on Steam, was that you could play it 3 days earlier. Why would you pay double just to play a game 3 days earlier? And there'll be people that are doing it.
Yeah, totally. Like, so if Resident Evil 2, for instance, if there'd been an option to do that, I'd like to think that I wouldn't be an idiot enough to do it, but it would be horrible because like I was, I was so pumped for that game to think that it was there for me to play, but I just had to pay more money. It's not a nice position to be in. I think outside of the marketing stuff, and it is clear that EA wants to go for the subscription model, and I just think, I don't know, like that's obviously the route that Microsoft are going. It's the route that EA are going. I think it's a bit of a conflict with EA doing it and Microsoft, because surely Microsoft and EA really need each other in terms of Microsoft will be the platform holder, EA is a major third party. For them both to have subscription models, like I've got this EA Premium thing, so I can play Anthem. Does that tie into my Xbox ecosystem at all? Like, can I play Anthem on my Xbox, or is it just PC that works?
No idea. I think you have to get it on the Windows Store.
It seems like there's a bit of a conflict there for me.
All right, so so what did you think of it when you were actually playing it?
I think they need to optimize the fuck out of it. It doesn't run very well.
Probably that was a build before December. It was
Doesn't
like
matter. That's the demo they released. Like it's coming out in 2 weeks. I don't really care where the build is from. If it's a lot better in 2 weeks' time, happy days. But realistically, I've got to assume that that's representative of kind of what we're going to be playing in a couple of weeks. So hopefully they do make some improvements to it. But just silly things like I couldn't play it in full screen because it would fuck the colors up, which I then found out was a HDR issue. But there's no option in the game to turn HDR off. So because my TV is HDR compatible, without me going into the HDR settings and manually turning HDR off, like I couldn't play it at full screen, which had the knock-on effect of I couldn't change the resolution. So when I initially started playing it, I put it onto 1440p, which is kind of roughly where I play games on PC, at least kind of technically impressive games. And it was really like running slow, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, why is this happening? And when I was changing the resolution, it wasn't doing that usual thing of black screen for a second and then recalibrating. And I looked into it, and it's because I was playing in borderless, which is the only way I could play. Apparently, that doesn't change the resolution, even though the option is let me change. It's just silly things like that, which you'd think a quality product like this, or an assumedly quality product like this should have.
I'd recommend trying
menus
it.
Are bad.
Yeah, try out. Oh yeah, it is. But that's same with Destiny. Like different menus for things. Like what is it with them? Like with Destiny and this having you got this button brings up your character menu. This button brings up like the escape to quit menu. This button brings up your map and also kind of the quick travel menu. It's just, can't we just have one screen that we can click on?
I've never had a problem with Destiny's menus, but it's more the presentation for me. I just think it looks bad. It's this big chunky, colorful EA type like font and aesthetic. I don't like it. It reminds me of Mass Effect Andromeda, which is not a game you need to be reminding me of if they're trying to get me to buy it.
I would maybe try the open demo this weekend. I'd recommend it because apparently it's a different build.
Well, I have. It's exactly the same issue with HDR, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But core gameplay stuff, I like it. Crazy third-person Iron Man-esque shooting. I think the worlds are pretty cool. I like the wildlife.
It's just one planet, isn't it?
A lot,
and one big map.
Seems so.
Yeah,
it seems so. I don't know whether you can. It doesn't seem like you can just fully traverse that planet. I think you go into certain maps. Is the way that it seems. A lot of weird loading, like within missions and stuff. Like you'd have to go into an underground cavern and it would load, which I would have thought this game wouldn't have.
For a game that's so stunning, I'm surprised in the demo you had a lot of like underground cavern flying in the dark. I felt like they should be out there and put the missions that are out and really. That's the most impressive
in a game where you can fly.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying.
on the point of flying, the flying I think is really cool. Like that is definitely a plus for this game. It's the first game that has done that, I think, in terms of that kind of.
Have you tried to hover and shoot at the same time though? Jeez, I was playing with the controller. I think I'm going to stick with the controller. But yeah, because you can hover and shoot. But if you hover, you don't really use much of your like it doesn't overheat, or it does, but very very small amounts. But then you're kind of a sitting duck for any shots. So it'll be when I finally got like the controls down to a T. I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I wasn't really using it. I was using it in combat, but more kind of to escape. When my shields are low and stuff like that, I would jump and fly away. So I don't know whether people will actually be dog fighting and stuff with it. I'm not really sure. But yeah, the core gameplay seems fine to me. A lot of people have been complaining about the kind of feedback on the weapons and things. I think it feels great. I enjoy the combat. It's not as tight as Destiny, but it's not a first-person shooter, so it's never going to be. I think the robots or the exosuits or whatever they are look really cool.
And there's so much customization, which is nice. It's unlike Destiny. Well, there isn't that, but it's all the stupid shader stuff. Yeah, Melon, there's
that in the demo, but seeing pictures and stuff, it seems like there's a lot of customization, which that'll be a big plus for me.
Melon, if it doesn't run very well on your PC, why didn't you try the open demo on PS4? Because then if you enjoy it and you're gonna play on PS4, I might get a copy on there as well.
I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna play this.
All right, no, your cup of tea. You like children's games, Kingdom Hearts. Just winding up, and mainly the people in the chat. Go on, Melon. What is Kingdom Hearts? Can you explain the story to us in 1 minute? Before
I couldn't if I tried. I have no chance. I still don't understand the story. But the story is weirdly set up. A lot of twists and turns. You would never understand it under the first playthrough. it's really cheesy dialogue.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of self-irony in it. Donald and Goofy is just like comic relief throughout the game, and they are like asking all the all the questions that you have as the player to all the weirdness. So they are asking it throughout the game.
It was right at the beginning when Donald was talking about data something and like going into data and databases. I don't know, but it was just, why is Donald Duck talking about databases and entering and having two different worlds? Yeah, it felt so weird.
Yeah. And in the first of all, or in the beginning of all games, after the first like part of the game, the title always comes up, and in this it came up Kingdom Hearts 2.9, and it's like a irony thing with because they have always like so weird titles in these games.
At least you know where it fits on the timeline. Because it's like, oh, Metal Gear Solid 3 is actually a prequel to this one. Whereas if they called it Metal Gear 0.9 or or Metal Gear 1978 or whenever it's set.
Yeah.
See, it's better. Makes more sense.
It's clearly something that done fun by design. The whole titles things. I never played the other games. I played a little of the first one many years ago, but it wasn't my cup of tea then. And it didn't have that much of the weird lore than in the first game. It was more of a Disney simulator game. But I watched like 3 hours on YouTube to learn the story before I started.
The equivalent of like an epic movie.
That was not enough, actually. It's like every night when I went to bed, I watched like an hour on YouTube to learn even more all the way through.
What do you think of the world? Because I'm playing it. Maybe on the third world. I think is. I think I'm near the end of the Toy Box world, so I'm pretty near the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I've just done I've done the Hercules world. Then there's that other world you go to that's kind of like a hub world, I think, with a haunted castle or something. And then I unlocked Toy Box world, so I'm going straight there. I want to experience Toy Story. And I'm just kind of playing it when it comes up with all shadows and you are me and I am you, but in this world you are not just me, but you are this other person, and that stuff kind of just goes over the head. And it's like, okay, we're coming to save Rex because Rex has disappeared and Andy's disappeared. Let's go and save them. That's like the story that I'm happy with. And then when it starts talking about Shadow Realms and all this other stuff, it's just
so much because it's like this game has a really weird universe, and it's all about hearts. And whenever somebody's dead, the heart gets separated from the body, and you will create two. If you have a strong heart, you will create two a heartless body and a nobody, which and that fucks up the story so much because all of the bad characters has of course strong hearts. So there's so many like clones and heartless and nobodies of all the bad guys. So all the bad guys are like actually one person almost by then. It's not one person, but they're all like intertwined and yeah. So that's why Jordan, you're gonna hate it, but this is like
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear for children, because it's all the Japanese humor, all the Japanese weird story, and you need like a degree to understand the story. That's why I call it Metal Gear for children. And also
Nate in the chat's eyes like twitching like
and it's also like a chance to relive all the great moments you had with Disney when you were a child, and you follow the protagonist who is really I wouldn't say stupid, but something like that, that has like all of these thoughts and questions that only a child would have. And yeah, but by the end of it, I really loved it. It was an amazing experience. You have to like put away your grown up butchy man aspect of you. You have to sit there like a child and like take it as it is.
I think I tuned into your
but I
stream, Melon.
really enjoyed it.
You were in the Frozen world, and they started singing "Do You Want to Build a Snowman?"
Oh yeah, I hated that. That's one thing I hated about the game. There's
Music.
so many great Disney movies they went through, and none of them have like original music.
Oh, Toy Story
They
did.
have
Oh my
original, but
God!
yeah,
If
there's
I'd...
a lot of original, but they never had like an original song.
Ah.
But for Frozen, they have two fucking.
Yeah, Let It Go. Did they have Let It Go?
music- yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Let It Go, and that's Build a Snowman shit.
But they had in the Toy Story. I've been playing for maybe 2 hours on the Toy Story level, and it's the same song on repeat again and again. That "You got a friend in me," but the instrumental version of it just repeat on repeat on repeat. And I'm
Yeah.
starting to like dream about it, and it's like just when I'm walking down the street, I've got it in my head, yeah, going and yeah, it's not.
But if they had like in Hercules, I want to go the distance, which would be
That's
perfect
class
with
song.
this game. Yeah, and it would be perfect with this game because it
Was it not in
begins
it?
in
I thought you were saying it's not, is it?
It's not in it, and it would be so perfect. And instead, the only song they play through is fucking "Let It Go,"
Oh, yeah,
which I
that's
hated.
Fanboy says, "Hush, I haven't finished Frozen yet." Ah, I have to go faster. But yeah, I quite like. I love the combat in Final Fantasy 15, and it feels a bit like that. You know, you just bash the buttons, and you're flying in the air, and there's all these sparks, and there's like little mini games that happen, or mini, like you know, sometimes you get like in a Final Fantasy game, you'll reach a point where there's the limit break or something, and you can do something kind of really cool and like with loads of damage. Well, this happens like pretty much all the time. Like sometimes they stack. Like you've got a mini one where you're suddenly in a bumper car and you can shoot people in AR. It's like augmented reality. And then there's one where there's a swinging ship, and sometimes you've got this extra buff that's kind of loading while you're doing one of these other special moves. It's I don't find the fighting boring. There's some of the special, like the swinging ship one, I don't actually like. I wonder if there's a way of getting rid of it. But
You can skip. I don't know if you can change it up, but you can press square so you don't get the cinematic at the beginning, and then you just spam triangle, and then you finish it fast.
Mm.
You don't have to keep going up and
Okay.
down.
I might have to try that then.
Yeah, so I did that all the time because you get bored of doing the same over and over.
Yeah, it looks very cool though. You gonna be playing it, Jordan?
It's also really cool end game stuff.
Yeah.
I've been grinding and grinding. I almost got the best weapon now, and it's really fucking difficult to get. You have to do so much stuff.
So in the chat, Nate says there is a reason behind it. I think that was about the naming of it. You need to play the other games to understand the naming. Could explain the game lore to you, but I don't have 6 hours. Yeah.
You don't have to play them, but you have to go on YouTube and learn the story, or else you're gonna hate it because it's so much cheesy stuff, and it's still gonna be cheesy when you learn the story, but then the cheesiness has at least some ground to be there.
Yeah, Nate
So
says
you understand it.
if you give up your heart, you become a heartless, but also make a nobody that's not you, but it kind of still is. Plus a guy who can time travel.
Yeah, and there's also timelines with time travel, and there's all of this weird stuff.
And there's a Sora. There's like, hey, Sora, that's not you, Sora. That's Sora in another world that you have to go and yeah. What do you think to it, Jordan?
So obviously recently I tried to play the remasters on PS4. I did the first world of the first game, the Alice in Wonderland world. I thought that was okay, and it was just something about like going from that world and then it put me in Tarzan's world. Maybe it's because like the Tarzan film doesn't really resonate with me. I was a little bit too old for Disney at that point.
No,
I
it's too
quit
old
at the
for-
same point.
Yeah, so I just got to that. And I don't know. It was just such a jolt to go from Alice in Wonderland. Suddenly, I'm in Tarzan. I never really understood why. I didn't really know what was going on. I just think this whole thing is a big missed opportunity. I think the fact that the Disney are allowing Square to do this, and then they just lump on all this shit that we're talking about, all this stupid story stuff. And I would argue that it isn't like Metal Gear. I think Metal Gear tries to emulate like Western movies and then adds a layer of oddness on top of it. I'd argue it's just like Final Fantasy, like the the Final Fantasies, even the PlayStation 1 Final Fantasies get a little bit weird. Like 8 is really weird towards the end. 9 isn't too weird. But like, think about what happens in like Final Fantasy 13 and stuff. It all becomes really fucking weird and vague. And it just seems like they've laid all that stuff on it instead of making like an enjoyable Disney themed RPG. I think that's a shame.
But
I wish
in this game it's the first time they've actually nailed the Disney worlds. It's in the other games, and I talked with people that are really like fans of this, and they're like in the second game, you play through the Lion King world, and this you remember from the movie when Simba goes up to the mountain at the end, and there's all this music, and it's a big, exciting moment. But in the game, it's just like without music, it's really static. You don't get any emotion out of it.
But on the PlayStation 2, like what?
Yeah, but
it's with the technical specs of the consoles have caught up with what Disney do now.
Yeah. But now it's really fucking amazing, and Pixar has done so much good with animation in this one.
How was the Pirates of the Caribbean
it's
world?
like you're going through the movies.
Without any spoilers,
really
how was the Pirates of the Caribbean world?
Oh, so good.
Okay.
And the freedom in that map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it's like a mini Assassin's Creed game. That
yeah, it's insane. The gameplay isn't as fun though as Assassin's Creed, but it's really impressive nonetheless.
I think I've drawn a line under it. It's just not a series that I'm gonna get involved.
Yeah,
with,
and I don't recommend it if you don't want to go balls deep.
Yeah, I'm playing it without getting into the lore and stuff. I'm just enjoying this, the characters and the little worlds that I'm experiencing and doing what I've got to do in there. And I know, there's some bad guys.
Isn't a lot of it the original characters, like just these weird humans that are invented by Square and talk in riddles? Isn't a lot of it that
not
yeah, but
there's like cutscenes.
All of
maybe.
it's explained though, and all of them have their each of their story.
Yeah, I don't know like the backstory to them, but I know this person's a bad guy and he's stealing people or whatever.
Yeah, but if you go really into it, but then again, you have to go really into it to understand it. I don't mean it like it's something you have to be smart or anything. It's just time consuming.
Yeah. All right, and just very quickly, a couple of other games. I played the closed beta of Anno 1800, which is I've not played so many games similar to this, but it's not. Someone's like, oh, is it like SimCity? But it's not. Is it Age of Empires? Would it be like that game? I never played those as a kid. You start off with a very small, a few farmers, and you're you're colonizing pretty much. You start off, you got a ship that's gone up to an island. It's top down. You then get a few sawmills and a few farmers. You get given a few like things that you can build with, and then you kind of grow and expand from there. And you take over the island and you can set your own conditions. It's a sequel to Anno 22. I think 2270 was the last one, or 2260.
There isn't any like battling or stuff.
Yeah. You can fight. There's there's multiplayer as well. Okay. So something that they took out of the last one, I think, was multiplayer and randomly generated islands. This time they're all randomly generated. Although you can put the variable. There's like a 4-digit code. If you put the same 4-digit code in, it'll give you like the same island. I haven't tried the multiplayer, but that's also in the beta. But I'm not gonna get around to playing it because I'm just gonna wait for the full version now. But yeah, it's I imagine Age of Empires, where you're going through the different ages and you're growing your tiny little village into I imagine a big city. I haven't got that far yet, and trying to please people, upgrading their houses, developing things so that you can go and explore and grow whatever you want. And yeah, it's really, really, really addictive. I went to sleep at 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning.
I love those games.
Yeah, you're gonna
just
love
like
this.
Factorio. You just you start to play, and then 12 hours later, you're like, oh.
I didn't know you were
time.
You were really into it because I'd have given you I had a free copy. I had not a free copy of it, but I had a demo. The closed beta copy. But I think it's I don't have any more. Give them all away. But I recommend the game when it comes out.
I have so many games like that.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, when it comes out, I do recommend it. Maybe we can play some multiplayer.
Yeah.
I wonder how
12 hour.
Yeah, 12-hour stream. I'd probably end up like, quite enjoying that. To be honest, it's one of those games you can just play for hours and hours.
Yeah.
Is that your cup of tea, Jordan?
Yeah. I've never played the Anno games. They seem super stylish to me.
Mm-hmm.
I do like kind of I like RTS games. I like city builders, that kind of stuff. I really like Stellaris. So it's kind of in that kind of vein. I just don't play games with a mouse and keyboard at the moment, and I've got to assume that this game is all about the mouse and keyboard. So yeah, it's not something that I'll be playing.
Looks gorgeous as well, and I was playing it. Some person that was like a pro at these games and has played like every single Anno game came in and said, "Wow, this is the messiest looking city I think I've ever seen." Because I had like, there's some houses here, then there was like a big factory, a pig farm, and on the other side of the pig farm was some more houses, and it was a total mess. It was funny. I was learning. Like I kept restarting my island again and again, and getting a bit further each time because I knew what I had to be doing. Yeah, love it. John, very quickly, what is Wargroove?
Wargroove. If anybody liked Advance Wars back on the for me it was the Game Boy Advance. Potentially played on the DS. If you liked that and you wish there was more of it, it's basically that, but just blown up and on steroids. It's in a fantasy setting, but works exactly the same. You move units into other units, and then they have a battle. The big selling point with this one is that there's a crazy custom like create a map mode in there, and you can literally create like whole levels and stuff with dialogue and characters interacting. Which I'm going to go through the campaign and then get stuck into that. And it's also crossplay with Switch, Xbox, and PC. So I'm playing on the PC at the moment, but ideally I want to play on the Switch. So at some point I'll be jumping over to that. But you can, it's got mod support on PC as well, which should be interesting. But yeah, it's basically Advance Wars on steroids. It's what happens when everybody loves Advance Wars, but Nintendo says no, we're not going to make it. We're making Fire Emblem instead. And more power to them because this game seems really good.
Yeah, all right. Time for the news. The news. I forgot we didn't do the intro for the games anyway. Yeah. At least YouTube won't flag it. Yeah, last time I did that.
Start again then.
YouTube flagged it.
Start again. Delete
okay, right. Stop streaming. In the news, this game that
play the game.
I was half asleep when this news came out. Jordan, tell me. So the new a new Titanfall's out.
Yes, they've announced a new Titanfall is coming in 2020. No, there's a new Titanfall that's coming out tomorrow. Apparently.
Yeah.
What? But it's gonna be. Like, I'm sure you've just been saying this randomly over the last
I keep saying to you, how cool would it be to have a Titanfall battle royale? I'm sure. I even like a couple of
that's not gonna happen.
Even like 2 weeks ago, I'm pretty sure I said that when we were talking about it. Maybe even a week ago. No, it was the last podcast. I'm sure I mentioned it. But yeah.
And yeah, apparently it's happening tomorrow. Like it's all but confirmed. All you know, all the big boys on Twitter are saying it's happening. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, you know, we need to bear in mind it's coming from EA. Everything EA touches at the moment seems to turn utter shit. Yeah. So it could well be that, you know, it comes out and it's like, oh my god, what have you done to Titanfall?
Well, I've just been quickly looking at some of the things. I don't know if you're gonna say this, but apparently,
no, you go for it.
Apparently the technology is a bit dated and it's using the Valve Source engine, like the previous two Titanfall games.
Yeah.
But they think that Titanfall 3 will be on the Frostbite engine, so this is kind of just them. What they'd created so far with Titanfall 3, or they'd built some stuff, and then instead of just scrapping it, thought, let's just make it into a Battle Royale game and then start again on the Frostbite engine. Yeah. Which, sure, I'm up for this. I'm going to play this. Well, I'll see what it's like, to be honest, first, but I'm really up for it.
Well, it's free, isn't it? So, you know, let's have a look.
Free
it's
as
funny
well?
You've been asking for
from
it. And
EA, Mellum. EA, free.
Can you imagine what?
I guess you have to sell their soul or something.
Well, they've been scared of like loot boxes and stuff, haven't they? So
I love how scared they are
to
now.
see how they've monetized it. Maybe at the start they won't monetize it. They'll just try and make it a thing and then monetize it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, if it's free to play, they'll have a the battle pass. That seems to be the thing that I mean, that's great because it's choice if you want to pay for that or not.
Pay for in-game time.
Oh
How
no.
big were those maps in Titanfall 2, the multiplayer maps?
Not very
were
big.
they?
No.
Yeah, I just wonder how, like you mentioned, it being on Source. I wonder how well that engine lends itself to.
Mm.
Like, I don't think anything has mentioned the player count yet, is it?
Mm. No, nobody really knows anything apparently.
I reckon it'll be a fairly substantial player count, but a fairly insubstantial amount of actual mechs on the field, and you'll need to earn those mechs. It won't be obviously, say there's 40 players. I can't imagine there'll be 40 mechs potentially in the battlefield. I don't know how they'll manage that.
Yeah, I have no idea how they would do that. Just
they'll need to-
imagine one Titan by then and 2 players.
Yeah. I'm definitely up for playing that though.
Yeah.
Are we up for the bit of that, Melon, this week?
Yeah, I'm really amazed by this. I didn't know.
No, I didn't know until. In fact, when you posted it, didn't you, Jordan, in the in our WhatsApp group? But
The exclusive click play WhatsApp group.
yeah, but it said, what was it? Yeah, the title of it came up, and I was like, oh, it can't be an actual Titanfall game. I thought it was just another. Yeah. Monday, February 4th, a free-to-play Titanfall Hero Battle Royale game. So I thought Titanfall Hero was like another game. So when I read that, I was like, oh, Titanfall Hero, that sounds... there must be some kind of... I don't know why he's posting that. But
yeah, I thought I was expecting you to go ballistic when I posted that,
no,
considering you called it.
I was very, very asleep when I read it as well. And then I think I went back to sleep. So... Yeah. Oh, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I like...
Yeah, let's all play that together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of Battle Royale games, I played Fortnite last night and for about 30 minutes, and there was a Marshmello concert. Do you know who Marshmello is, Jordan?
I have no idea who Marshmello is.
He's a DJ and he plays Fortnite.
It's the dude from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. The Michelin Man.
That's what my mind went to as well, but I thought I'm not going to say that because it's a dad joke, and then you did.
Yeah.
You'll probably recognize his music if you hear it. It's always blasted at the moment. But yeah, he's a DJ, and he did in Fortnite they had this special event which was a 50v50 thing, and it's the first to get to 200 one. But they set up a stage in Pleasant Park, one of the towns. I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. And we went there. There's 4 of us. We all flew in there just before this countdown reached 0, and there was people shooting. All of a sudden, the second it hit 0, like all guns went away, and like you couldn't kill anybody. And then he came up on the stage in the game, played this music. But like with the music, when the music was kind of blasting, or it went into key change, or it dropped, or I don't know what they call it, what these youths call it, but like you'd be able to jump in the air, and then these giant balls came, like beach balls were out there. It was a really cool experience. It was 10-15 minutes, and yeah, it felt pretty epic actually.
So help an old man out with this, Ben.
Yeah. Oh well, what?
Everybody's seeing that at the same time, yeah?
Yeah.
That's like a thing that isn't... It's not like being activated in the map. It's a live thing that's been experienced by anybody that's within a Fallout game at that very distinct moment in time.
Fallout game? No, but a Fortnite game, yeah.
Fortnite. I told you I'm an old man.
Is this the old Fallout Battle Royale? Yeah, so
am I right in saying that?
Yeah, the normal game modes, every other game mode was turned off for a few hours, I think, or maybe an hour before. So you could only go into this.
Something was up then, is it?
Oh, yeah. A stage was built and there was a big countdown on it.
So people are just in there socializing.
Well, killing.
You said they took away the guns.
They did, as soon as
they took away the guns, so people killing each other.
Well, they were killing each other, but you were respawning. It was not where you got sent back to the menu. And then, as soon as
something, you knew he was leading something. He didn't just because there's been stuff that's happened that has just come out of nowhere, hasn't it?
Yeah, this is. But this is. I'd not seen it, but I don't really play Fortnite anymore. But someone came to chat, was like, "Oh, there's a concert in Fortnite happening in 30 minutes." I thought, oh, I'll go on then. I'll.
So they give people a bit of time.
Yeah.
For it. Okay, that makes sense.
And
I just wondered how it would work for, if your game was just about to end, would that concert continue for your map, or if you were just coming into a game? But that makes sense if they've kind of
they just took the gun,
everything. And
yeah. I knew it was cool as people because you could still build, so the people like building really big structures so they could watch from a high vantage point, and it was just and you could do all your dance moves, and at one point everybody just gets shot into the air and they're all flying while the music's blasting. It was pretty epic. I liked it. And although really there's been a bit of controversy because he said it was the first ever virtual concert in a video game, and then everyone's like, well, actually,
did you rascal?
happened in Minecraft.
Yeah, it was Minecraft. There was one in Phantasy Star Online. Apparently there was
PlayStation Home.
World of Warcraft
Probably
had one.
been some in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, PlayStation Home. So yeah, it wasn't, but it was definitely the biggest. And yeah, it was really cool. And then I turned it off, and then probably won't play Fortnite again for a while.
So at the end of that concert, what happened then? Everyone got booted, and then just started playing Fortnite again.
Kind of. I think it then lagged, and I couldn't move anything, and so it totally bugged out, and I had to close the game.
The magic had to end at some point.
Yeah, it wasn't registering that I had Fortnite up for some reason, so I was just I was dying over and over again because I couldn't get into the circle.
It's weird that they didn't have like any more bigger music people.
Well, he's a big dude because he's friends with Ninja, and he and Ninja they both won the Fortnite special event or whatever it was. You know Ninja? He's one of my Twitch rivals.
I haven't heard of her.
No. Oh no, she doesn't play with girls. Yeah.
But no, I know you mean, Melon. Like, this is Fortnite. You know, it's a cultural phenomenon at this point. You'd think like Beyonce would want a piece of it. You know.
Yeah. I think he is big with the youths, and that's what Fortnite is big with. Heard of him. I mean, they're not going to get any like Celine Dion, are they? Celine Dion concert in Fortnite. I mean, I'd be okay with
only be them.
It'd be just me there. But it's I still impressed all the time with Fortnite and how they evolve that game.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, wonder what's next.
Keep it up.
Epic. Yeah. All right. Metro's on the Epic Store. I'm going to be playing Metro on Steam though.
Yeah, Steam is angry.
Mm-hmm. Go on, John.
Okay, so Steam has been selling Metro for a long time. It's been on a pre-order for months and months now, advertised all over Steam, etc. But now the developer of Metro, who I forget at this moment in time, but whoever that is, they have made an announcement that they'll actually be selling the game exclusively on the Epic Store for PC users. But they've also said that if you've already pre-ordered it on Steam, the version will be available. You'll be able to play it on Steam, but they are closing off sales, and there was kind of a 12-hour period or something between making that announcement and it getting pulled from Steam, which I thought was a bit odd for you to have that weird kind of overlap. So it's just the latest move in terms of Epic trying to really push this as a competitor to Steam. For my money, it's the first time. Like, I think from a numbers perspective, it still isn't a competitor to Steam, but from optics and some other kind of measures, I think I definitely feel that this is the first time that Steam has been challenged in a lot of ways. And this is just
great
the latest
against
kind of
Monopoly.
It's great against Monopoly, but then they're doing it by getting their own exclusive deals, which is pissing some people off.
Yeah, like I surely this would be better for them if it was just a case of, actually, you know what, you can also buy Metro on the Epic Store. I think it might be a longer game that they'd be playing, but I think it's a game that would, you'd get a lot more buy-in from fans, and the fact that, but then you've got to think of it from a financial perspective. Like, if they pull that game from Steam, and this, they've probably done the maths on it, right?
It's only 1 year.
Saying that actually. Yeah, sure. So if they're looking at it and they're saying, well, actually, we'll only lose X amount of sales, but we'll get this bigger X amount of money coming in because Epic's taking a smaller amount. I think if they've done the math on that, fair enough. This isn't a big AAA game. Like,
no, do you think this will actually help the sales? Because it's like been in the news constantly, the gaming news. There's videos been made about it constantly.
I think in a vacuum it hurts sales because it's not on Steam, but because of the press that this has got, because of where we are in the news cycle, I think it's probably raised the awareness. Metro's always been this kind of technical showpiece on PC. I'm playing the second game at the moment. I'm playing it 4K full settings. It looks like it was released last week. It's incredible. So it's going to be another technical showpiece. But I don't think those games have ever set the world on fire.
Oh. And this might do though. Because all I'm seeing now is just screenshots and like gameplay footage from this, and I just want to play it so much.
I've heard mixed things
about this game.
People that have been, the new game, the people that have been hands-on. I've heard mixed things. I really hope it's good. I loved the first game back on 360. I thought he was so atmospheric. Plays like shit now, because he was kind of, I think he was pre like Call of Duty, 4, that kind of thing. It just doesn't play very well now. The second one plays okay. It's a really slow, dark shooter. I'm playing it at the moment on hardcore mode, no HUD in Russian. I hope this game seems to be a bit more open. We'll need to see if they've got the chops to pull it off, I guess. But
it's like you're on a train. I read you're on a train going through the wilderness, and there's certain drop off points, and there's these massive, vast open world areas that you go around. And
so the lore of Metro is post-apocalyptic. The surface of the earth is covered in radiation. I'm not sure if it's dispersed at this point, because I'm sure in one of the trailers they took their gas mask off and everything was okay. So maybe certain areas you can take the gas mask off. But essentially, it's a civilization has formed in the metro system below Moscow. And there's different factions. You've got like Nazis, Soviets.
I was just thinking the same thing, Melon. Oh, how cool would that be if the game morphed into is it Snowpiercer? Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the best movies.
No idea what that is.
I've ever seen. Oh, you need to watch
It's
it.
a cool movie.
Really, really cool. Apparently, you can't legally watch it in the UK.
Oh.
That's why I've never seen it then.
Yeah, because it's on Netflix. It's on US Netflix, but apparently I really recommend watching it. It's got that woman in it too. Who was the one that plays the Queen in?
Helen Miller.
No, the Queen in the Wardrobe, Lion Witch of the Wardrobe.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah, she's in it, and she plays a Yorkshire woman, real harsh.
Right.
Yeah, it's really. I recommend that movie, 100%.
All right. Well, yeah. So Metro's gone to Epic anyway. It is a bit shit for me because I've got the first two games on Steam. So just from a collector's point of view, feels a bit weird.
I've got this game on Steam.
Have you got it on Steam or have you got it on Instant Gaming?
I pre-ordered it on Instant Gaming, and they wonder if they'll get the key for Epic or Steam.
I think it's 50-50 there, Ben. You might end up with an Epic key because people who bought a physical, like obviously physical PC games were a joke, but people do buy a physical. Apparently Epic has changed the physical keys to be Epic keys.
Okay.
So I don't know how...
It said Steam on it. Yeah.
It would have, because they would have thought they were selling you a Steam game at that point, wouldn't they?
You can add games from Origin and everything to Steam on your Steam list, so I guess you can do it with this as well.
Not the same.
Same.
Same,
Melon.
I don't like how Epic
do stuff.
I'm not too fussed about how Epic are doing these all exclusivity and stuff, but I do like Epic are in my good books because I bought a game. I don't know what game it was, but apparently they adjusted the price like a week or two, or maybe even 3 weeks after I'd bought it, and said, "Hey, we've adjusted the price of this, and here's the refund." Just like out of nowhere, I didn't request it. I didn't even know they changed the price of it, and I didn't even know what game it was.
Yeah, and like they gave me that refund on Anthem. It took 3 weeks, and they sent me 3 like obnoxiously long emails, and not long in terms of like it wasn't just like legal stuff. It was like they were trying to be hip, and they were like, "Hi, Jordan, sorry, I haven't got back to you. It's just the Christmas period. You know what it's like." I'm like, no, don't want any of this. Just give me the refund, you fucking dicks. Ultimately, they did refund me. It wasn't as smooth as Steam's process, but they've. I think ultimately it's good, isn't it? That there's another launcher which is really going for it. Like, Origin didn't do it, and it's EA and this shit. I've never liked the Uplay one either. It does the job if you want to play fucking some boring game like Assassin's Creed or something. But ultimately, I don't want that to be where I go to play.
I really love that all the billions of money that Epic Games have gotten from the gamers now. It goes back to the gamer in terms of destroying the monopoly on Steam.
It is kind of nice. Like, this is the most I've heard from Steam in years. They've just been silent. I've complained about it on this podcast so many times.
Yeah.
And we've talked about like other, when games have left Steam. And I'm like, well, I used to hate playing a PC game that wasn't on Steam, but now I can't fault anybody from leaving them because they just don't seem to do anything. They're just a husk. I'm sure there's a lot of technical stuff going on in the back end, but realistically,
it's a secret though.
Why are people so obsessed with like being real fan? Like you've got the PlayStation fanboys, and you've got the Xbox fanboys. Seems to be like an Epic Games fanboy and Steam fanboy. Like the Division is currently hugely downvoted on Steam because they decided to put Division 2 on Epic Store. Like all the comments are just like "fuck Epic Store, fuck Epic Store." Like, all the comments, all the reviews on it. Why are people getting so obsessed with something that they probably don't even launch it through Steam? They probably just click on it on their desktop and it comes up. Why are people so obsessed? Why do you have to be so tribal?
They're hardcore PC gamers, and unlike us, where we're kind of like, I've got a Switch, I've got an Xbox, I've got a PlayStation, I've got a PC. Yeah, so like I'm in all those ecosystems. So actually, I can never have all my games in one place. I think a lot of these people probably just have a PC. if you can't play it on a mouse and keyboard, it doesn't exist to them. And they're used to just having this one nice collection with a black screen. I get that bit. I want a nice, just black window with just white words saying the list of like 1,000 games. I get it. And I think it's challenging the way they look at that. And like I said, I used to feel that myself. But I've in the last few weeks, like since like I played Resident Evil on PlayStation, there's no reason to. Like it runs better on PC. It would run better on my PC. I played the demo.
Yeah, cheaper on PC as well.
It was cheaper as well. I paid more to play it on PlayStation, but I was like,
I want it on release
there's
minute.
something about playing on the console. It's the suspend feature is just like that's
so true.
That's just it just means a lot. Like I don't know why I've overlooked it, but like recently I'm like I like being able to suspend the game, go back into it, and just.
I didn't realize it was,
shit that happens on
when
PC.
They announced that. People were like losing their shit a little bit, and I was like, well, you know, you can suspend it. That's something nice. But now I couldn't live. Well, I could live without it, but like to me, suspending a game is just like closing the game. I wouldn't ever turn off the console unless I'm moving it. Rob says, yeah, children, but children. That's true. What's the difference between Epic Games and Steam? It's just a different launcher that you use to buy the game, because you can just launch it. You can still launch it from your desktop by just clicking.
Is that it's the first competitor or real competitor to Steam.
Hey, you
play. It's crazy. If you think what big EA is, like surely EA should have been able to do something like this, but they never, because they're just inept and they never managed to pull it off.
Rob says, can we all agree that Origin is the most terrific? Yes. Can I just say, Epic, no, Uplay and Origin are both big pile of shits. I live in Spain, but my launcher and everything.
That's not Uplay's fault.
No, well, it is, because they don't allow me to change the language, which infuriates me. Because I've got everything in English. Yeah, no, I've got everything in English. My launch and everything in English. I go to the shop, it's in Spanish. I'm like, oh, okay. No language options anywhere. It's like, okay, great. I mean, I can speak Spanish. I understand it, but I just want to chill. I want to kind of read my own language. That'd be kind of easier for me to just absorb it a lot faster.
And we all know English is the best language. That's the thing. Like it's going to ruin it being in any other language.
I mean, I'm moving back to the UK in the summer, so there's no point in me learning any more Spanish. So I'm trying to get rid of
it in other languages. I've started a change.org petition. Have you seen that?
No.
This is going to be a Norwegian podcast, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm going to learn Norwegian instead. I'm going to remove the Spanish and just put something. It's a lot more useful for me, I think.
So I started a petition to change the name of the English language to human.
The human language.
I think the French are trying the same.
Can we rename the Welsh language the inhuman language?
Please, please do. This is we could ban it.
Wow. Any complaints? Please write to Jordan Reese.
I think Mandarin is the biggest language in the world. I guess that's going to be the next one.
It's the most native speakers, but actually the most people that speak the English is spoken apparently by 50% of the world.
Yeah. Okay.
To a certain level, whereas I think
as well, isn't it? And if you look at soft power, like English is just a cultural juggernaut. It doesn't matter about Mandarin.
Aren't we great, Jordan? Aren't we a great?
Just because you rate the country and the world for a couple of hundred years.
China.
Yeah. G2A is a pretty good website. Oh no, I wouldn't trust anything from G2A. A lot of people are buying. What game was it? No, it was Anno 2270 or something. That's getting downvoted because people are saying you can't change from Russian. But apparently, when they released Anno 2270 or something, the ones that they released in Russia only had the Russian language. So a lot of people had bought it from these key sharing websites, and they were all like really cheap Russian versions. And now they have to play the game in Russian.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Serves them right.
Love it.
You're gonna attempt Norwegian? Yeah, no, I will, Brenda. I will. I just need to do it a bit at a time, or bit by bit.
You need to do a bit at a bit.
A bit at a bit, mixing on my phrases. Okay, very quickly.
I can't remember what game. There was a game that they released a version, and that was the version that got ripped first. And everybody installed it and complained about some bug, and the developers knew that was the only one that was released for pirating.
Yeah, wasn't it like Monkey Island or something, like an old game like that?
Yeah, something I can't remember.
Okay, but yeah, very quickly, Sony they've put a patent for backwards compatibility from PS1 to PS4 games, which is pretty epic. What do you think to that, John? Very quickly.
I think it's awesome. Like we talked about it back and forth. Obviously, patents are slippery things. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. But I think, we've talked about it before. What do we want to see out of a PS5? I think everybody just wants it to be. It's clearly going to be called a PS5. Why wouldn't it be? But ultimately, people just want it to be the PlayStation. And if we can play, especially if you can put your disc in, that's the that'd be amazing.
Disc. Yeah.
But if I haven't got any fucking PlayStation discs at this point, but
I do.
For the fan base, they would fucking come over that stuff. Like if you could just put a PS1 disc or PS2 disc or PS3 disc in, imagine getting your Metal Gear Solid 4 disc out and chucking it into your PS3, your PS5, sorry, and it just works. Oh my god, that would be. But
incredible. I wonder if it'll be like the like the Xbox 360, where you Xbox One, where you put it in a 360 disc and it downloads the game and just uses it to read it. So, I mean, that would be.
Maybe, but then, does that only work for games that were available digitally on 360?
I believe so.
Have they actually hosted games that weren't
digitally? I think that's why they announced certain games being available, because then that means that you can download it. I'm guessing, rather than I don't think it's reading it from the disc at all.
But it's becoming clear via Sony's silence, and these kind of murmurings of patents and all this kind of stuff. Clearly, what they're aiming for with PS5 is a more backwards. This is a weird thing to say, but a more backwards compatibility focused machine. We know it's going to run PS4 games. Obviously, my hope is that it's got some kind of native technical improvements for those games, even if devs don't go in and improve them. Hopefully, it will actually give you better responses, which kind of is what this patent was talking about as well. There were bits in there where it was talking about actually, if you're playing an older game, even though with console games they're coded to a certain spec, so even if you play it on a more powerful machine, it doesn't necessarily take advantage of that. There was some kind of technicality in there where they were like, well, actually, if we do it right, we can make it so that it does take advantage of the new console's hardware, which would be really, really, really exciting.
John,
I heard from all I read, there will never be compatibility with PlayStation 3 games because of the coding. It's too messed up.
It's the architecture of the machine, which by proxy then is the coding. But I think, well, if you look at the emulation scene on PC, amateurs are getting there. You can play Demon Souls on PC pretty much end to end, pretty much at 30 frames, and if you want to, you can bump the 30 frame limit. So if Sony built that architecture. If anybody's going to build a really good emulator, it's going to be them. So if the next console is powerful enough, potentially they could. It may be that it isn't conclusive backwards compatibility. Maybe it's just for select titles. Metal Gear Solid 4 would be a good one to start with, I would argue. There's some weirdness in there. If you think about the good work the PlayStation has done in terms of updating its back catalog, you've got the Uncharted trilogy already. You've got Shadow of the Colossus. Metal Gear has been remastered for PS3. So there'd be a question mark there as to whether you would just use the backwards compatibility from the PS3 version, or if you want new kind of another remaster for the PS5. I'm not really sure which way that'll go, but yeah, it does seem like they're thinking about
something to do. So
need something, yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of Metal Gear Solid 4, that's going to be free on next week. PS Plus from Tuesday, along with PS Plus on PlayStation 3. The PS Plus cloud storage has increased to 100 gig. I never even reached my limit. I didn't even know what the limit was. Apparently,
so if you get that on your PS Plus when the PS5 comes out, my guess would be you'll be able to play that.
That might be why they're still giving away the PS3 games. What's this Quantic Dreams?
Next month, isn't it? I think PS Vita and PS3 goes away March, isn't it?
Hopefully we'll get some extra games for PS4. Also coming to, isn't it Hitman? That's PS. Yeah, PS4. PS Plus next.
That's the PS4 game, yeah. The first season.
And The Division, I think, isn't it? Or is that on? I think so. No, that's Humble Bundle. What's Quantic Dream? No multi-plat. It's not going multi-platform anymore, or it is.
So it's never. So it's going multi-platform. Yeah. So I think a lot of people kind of guessed this with it's weird. Detroit is their best-selling game. But also I think a lot of people coming out of it thought, oh shit, that's and with all the uproar, was there uproar? Like you had the sexual abuse scandal stuff and bullying and all that kind of stuff. It didn't seem to amount to much, but
bad writing.
The most offensive thing was the bad writing in that game. It sounds like the relationship between Sony and that studio is soured. and that studio will just be making multi-platform games moving forward. So more power to them. I enjoyed Heavy Rain. I loved Beyond. I thought Detroit was trash. So
It looked nice, though.
over to them. To them.
It looked nice. And had some nice little puzzles.
Maybe Microsoft should buy them.
And our final news story. EU-Japan trade deal has opened, so unless there's a no-deal Brexit, which we'd only experience for about 60 days, cheap hentai, if anybody wants any of that, and waifus, if you're gonna buy your waifus, it'll be, don't need to pay import tax on them. Any things from Japan, Jordan, you would like to import?
I can't say what I just thought. Anything from Japan that I would like to import?
That's legal. That's right, Brenda. Cheap hentai. You'll be enjoying.
Just like cool gaming shit. I want to go to that Akiba place and just have a little look what's going on there, and
they'll do.
Just anything is cooler when it's it's kind of is what you people would call cultural appropriation, but like just anything that just has the Japanese like writing on it is instantly really cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it might just be calling you a Western prick, but like it still looks cooler. Was it Ganji? Is that what it's called?
I think isn't that smoking stuff?
It's ganja, mate.
Oh.
Kanji?
Genji?
I don't know.
Isn't he a character in Overwatch? Yeah, I'd love to import some Japanese stuff. Just because it'd look cool. Yeah.
Can get some Norwegian salmon. Apparently, there's a bunch of it over there.
Wait, not in Japan?
Japan.
Oh, you'll be able to export all your illegally butchered whale meat as well there.
You don't do that.
No, it's all legal for some reason. All right. Well, so there we go. Finishing with a bit of politics. Exciting. Hentai and Genji. All right. Well, we're going to be... Oh, very quickly, John, I wanted to say, when do you think PS5 is coming out? I bet we'll probably hear rumours at the end of this year with the PlayStation Experience. And then it'll come out.
I think it's going to be something on E3.
No, they're not going to be at E3.
They're not this E3. No, I think they don't do a hell of a lot this year. Obviously, they've got games to release. I think they'll want to get The Last of Us released before they actually talk about this new console. I think you start to hear rumors this year because obviously they need to start approaching third parties to start developing games. I think it gets released in Q4, either late Q3 or anytime in Q4 of next year. Yeah, next year, because that'll be 2020.
Yeah, I think it'll get announced at the PlayStation Experience.
Wait for God of War 2 on that.
Fully backwards compatible, native up-res for PS4 games. They'll provide treatments to the big games like God of War, all that kind of stuff. I think whereas people are expecting there to be Last of Us 2 on PS4 and then another version on PS5, I don't think it needs to work like that. I think if you bought Last of Us 2, then you have Last of Us 2 and it just runs better on PS5.
Yeah, I'd hope.
That's the kind of thing that you'll see. The whole backwards compatibility piece. And yeah, tail end.
And you can play DVD on it.
Yeah, and it's also a DVD player.
Yeah, and put CDs in it and play music. All right.
That's Microsoft Xbox.
Yeah,
it'd be cool if they sell one without an optical drive. I think that's a good option for both Microsoft and Sony, just to say, okay, different SKUs. You can buy this one for 50 quid less because it doesn't have a Blu-ray drive. I do not need. My console is facing the wrong way around because I want the vents to have more air.
Yeah, mine is as well. Although currently there is an empty wine bottle blocking the wine vent, the air vent.
So they're more than welcome to take that disc out if they want to. Obviously, they need to offer an option for other people, but for me, if you want to take 50 quid off the price of the console, please do.
All right. Jordan, how do we find you?
Just come down to Barry Island.
Oh,
look under the bed.
Exactly.
Oh, let's get down the islands, innit?
Oh, bloody hell, no. Fucking hell. All right, and there's proper lush down there.
Creepy.
Mellum, how do we find you?
I am Mellumman on Twitter and Twitch.
Yeah. And on YouTube, yeah?
Yeah.
You have a YouTube.
I'm a YouTuber.
He's a YouTuber now. Yeah, he plays songs by Marshmello and Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah.
There we are. All right, I'm gonna beat RB for about 5 minutes. Just put my scenes and everything back in order and the alerts back up. Then it's time for BBW, Biggest Bennett Wrestling. We've got a few shows, and then it's the Biggest Bash. Apparently, bash in Norwegian means poop, so biggest poop.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Are you going to bed, Mellum?
Soon.
Very soon. All right.
I have a meeting tomorrow.
Oh, all right. Enjoy.
All right, mate.
So back in 5. Thanks very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.